Hello and welcome to the presentation. My name is Dex and this is the Group 3 project on Japanese culture.
My name is Cherry. My name is Megan.
And I'm Travis.
We're going to be going over some of the cultural differences between the United States and Japan, especially when it pertains to business culture. So some of the things that we're going to be going over in just a few minutes, we'll go over bowing and chopstick use and things like business card etiquette, as well as some basic meeting etiquette.
The secret to understanding business communications in Japan is knowing the proper forms of speech. In Japan, there are two non-casual forms of speech, referred to as sonkeigo, or honorific, and kenjogo, or humble. Knowing when it is appropriate to use either of these forms of speech is paramount in business communications. The humble form is a function to show respect to recipients of your actions, whereas the humble form is to impart respect to a specific individual. Japanese culture is rich with etiquette, and showing the proper respect will open partners and clientele to business dealings, make them more receptive. Some examples include hello. Now, in casual conversation, it is common to simply say Ohio as a greeting. However, the proper honorific would be Ohayo gozaimasu, which is the formal greeting. Saying excuse me or I'm sorry is normally suimasen. However, this is, again, casual speech. It is never okay for business. The proper sumimasen should be used in all business functions. Thank you is arigato gozaimasu or arigato gozaimashita, where it is casual to simply say arigato. First-time dealings with a Japanese company, for first-time dealings with a Japanese company, it is important to make a good first impression. Unless you have an associate who is fluent in Japanese, it may be better for you to greet them in English. That way you don't risk confusing the Japanese side of the business dealings. They may try to shake your hand rather than bow in order to break tension. If this occurs, simply shake their hands. To stay on the safe side, follow whatever greetings they start with. If they bow, bow back, which is something we will cover in a later section. Attire in Japan is very formal. Between October through April, dark suits are expected, with white shirts and soft, subdued tone ties. Japanese people tend to wear formal coats in the winter months of December through February, and Burberry-style short raincoats in March and April. From May through September, Japanese businessmen swap their dark suits for light gray suits. For women, pantsuits and long skirts are appropriate, and follow many of the same rules as businessmen. Formal wear is used for all business functions, including social drinking events. Do not wear a black suit, a white shirt, and a black tie, as this is funeral attire. When negotiating business deals with Japanese businessmen, remember to speak humbly but unapologetically. Avoid small talk about sports, politics, or religion, and never ask about their personal lives. Japanese society values formality, politeness, and conformity. And this informs how Japanese business is conducted. Take lots of notes because it shows that you are interested in the Japanese side of business dealings. and it creates an audit trail. Japanese companies train their employees during induction to note down everything, just in case something becomes forgotten later down the line. Expect to take notes yourself. Japanese business people have very strong pride in their company, and so it is inappropriate to badmouth any of your associates or your business, as this will be seen as disrespectful. And remember not to speak derogatorily about any of your competitors either. Be sure to always smile, act pleasantly, and show a willingness to learn. Ask a lot of questions about the Japanese side's business vision and plans.
People in Japan, both in their professional and personal lives, value their personal space. It is recommended that you maintain a 3 to 4 foot distance between you and another person. However, if a person steps towards you, don't be afraid to allow them to close the gap. Allowing them to do so shows respect for their boundaries. Keeping personal space in mind allows for other interactions such as bowing, business card exchange, and gift giving easier and smoother interactions.
Bowing in Japan has many guidelines and subtleties, and that makes it a very complicated and very important part of their culture, just like saluting is important in our military. The bow in Japan is taught early in life to children, so they may show respect to their elders. There are many reasons to bow to someone, such as saying hello or goodbye, starting or ending a class meeting or ceremony, thanking someone, apologizing to someone, congratulating someone, asking for favor or goodwill, and worshiping someone or something. There are 3 main types of bows: the Ishaku, the Senrei, the Futsure or Keirei. These bows are different in depth and length of bow and used for different reasons. The Ishaku is a bow that is used for greeting people of the same social rank as yourself. The Senrei is used to show a moderate level of gratitude and respect and is a seated bow. The Futsure or Keirei is the bowing to people with the power to make or break your life bow. This is used when dealing with your boss, your in-laws, and is the highest form of commonplace bows. There are other types of bows, but they go beyond the scope of business dealings in Japan. Ishaku is the bow used for greeting people of the same social rank as yourself. Ishaku. Senrei is the bow used to show a moderate level of gratitude or respect. It is also a seated bow. Futsure or Keirei is the bow to people that can make or break your life.
Business cards, also known as meishi, are extremely important in the Japanese business world. They are viewed as an extension of your own identity. You should ensure your business card is clean and neat. Torn or frayed edges are not acceptable. To prevent this, you should keep your business cards in a business card case or holder. When handling a business card, you should treat it with as much respect as you would an individual. It is extremely disrespectful to place a business card in your pocket, so you should always try to put that in a business card holder as soon as possible. If you are standing, you should accept the card with both hands, bow slightly in thanks, momentarily read it, and place the business card in your business card holder. This shows respect for the information you have just been given. If you are sitting in a meeting, it is acceptable to place the card on the table face up for the duration of the meeting. However, when you rise, you should put the business card in your business card holder as soon as possible. When seating in a business meeting, it is polite to allow your guests to seat themselves first. Order of seating is determined based on rank. This means the highest ranking member will sit at the head of the table, just like in Western culture. If there isn't a head of the table, highest ranking individual. After that, the second highest ranking members would take their seats near the Kamisa, and so on and so forth, until the Shimosa, or the worst occupied seat, is occupied by the lowest ranking individual. Generally, the Kamisa is the furthest away from the door, and the Shimosa is nearest. So the Kamisa, or the best seat in the room, would be taken by the highest ranking individual first. After that, the second highest ranking individuals would take their seats at the table. And lastly, the lowest ranking individuals would sit in the Shimosa, or the worst seat in the house. Generally, the Kamisa is the furthest from the door, and the Shimosa is the closest. Face-to-face meetings are extremely important in business relations in Japan. The most effective meetings require that you plan a strict agenda for the meeting. Most business people in Japan schedule their time closely, so it is important to stick to the agenda you have prepared. If you go past your scheduled end time, you could cause disruption in another person's schedule. When presenting during a meeting, it is recommended that you present in Japanese. Translating the presentation shows that you have a respect for the Japanese culture. However, it is okay if you need a translator. You should bring handouts to the meeting, but do not distribute them until after the presentation.
In Japan, like in the United States, there are expectations for different genders and ages that play into business as well as everyday life. Some of these are similar to the US, and some of them are different in surprising ways. This falls into 4 categories: business customs for age, business customs for gender, social customs for age, and social customs for gender. Business customs for age. Age is a primary concern in business settings in Japan. This is a big change from the US, and frequently, younger people can end up in charge of older people. In Japan, it is commonplace for senior members to be older than their lower level employees. It is improper to publicly go against an elder's opinion or decision. It is also considered disrespectful to stare into someone's eyes. This can be a problem when you are staring into an elder because they have a higher class than you. Business customs for gender. When it comes to business in Japan, women are often seen as a lower rank to males and have lesser jobs as well. As a result, they experience a lower wage, and it is often difficult to manage men if they do end up in charge of them. When a woman gets married or has a child, she is expected to leave the workplace and tend to the home and children. There has been a shift in this in recent years, but it is negligible. At the end of World War II, there was an abrupt change to how women are viewed. Discrimination towards women was even outlawed in the Japanese Constitution. Many of the views that changed at the end of World War II are present today. Social customs for age. The Japanese often have the same group of friends that they met at a young age. It is unusual for older people to be out making friends, and it is often difficult if they have to do so. There are different suffixes for addressing people of different ages. The 2 most common suffixes are san and chan. The most common is san. It is similar to miss or mister. When addressing children, family, and friends, chan is often used. Social customs for gender. Women are often expected to be subservient to men. One example of this is raising children. The women in the house are expected to do most of the child rearing. This also goes for cooking. It is often the wife's job to cook for the family, and as the children get older, the daughter may take on some of that as well.
Popular food dishes in Japan vary greatly. There are well-known and popular dishes like sushi, sashimi, tempura, and ramen. One traditional Japanese dish, called akuzu, usually involves seafood that may be raw, grilled, boiled, steamed, deep-fried, or marinated. Popular beverages are green tea, beer, and sake. One of those most popular desserts is mochi, which is a gummy rice cake. An interesting note is that almost every household in Japan has a sakana yaki gururu, which is a mini oven or grill just for fish. Japan also has traditional American chains like the Shake Shack, McDonald's, KFC, and Taco Bell. While discussing Japanese food, it is also necessary to talk about chopsticks. Chopsticks are very important in Japanese culture, and the misuse of them can cause major misunderstandings and insults. In Japanese, the meaning of chopsticks is bridge. It is believed that chopsticks can bridge the distance between earth and heaven as they share their food with the gods. Japanese chopsticks tend to be fancier and often made of bamboo and lacquered. They can also be made from metals like silver and gold, proving just how important chopsticks are to the Japanese culture. There are many rules to etiquette with using chopsticks in Japanese culture that even vary from other cultures' use of chopsticks. Actions like hovering the chopsticks over dishes while deciding what you want is considered greedy. Many mistakes, such as placing your chopsticks straight up in a rice bowl or crossing the chopsticks, resemble customs performed in Japanese funerals. Particularly, passing food from one set of chopsticks to another symbolizes the funeral rites of passing bones after cremation into an urn. None of these actions would be considered polite at the dinner table and would be perceived as rude and distasteful. There are many rules to etiquette when using chopsticks in Japanese culture that even vary from other cultures' use of chopsticks. Make sure that you're holding your chopsticks correctly and do not cross your chopsticks. Actions like hovering the chopsticks over dishes while deciding what you want is considered greedy. Many mistakes, such as placing your chopsticks straight up in a rice bowl or crossing the chopsticks, resemble customs performed in Japanese funerals. Particularly, passing food from one set of chopsticks to another symbolizes the funeral rites of passing bones after cremation into an urn. Also of note is popular entertainment. Business people in Japan consider entertaining very important. The locations vary from restaurants to karaoke bars or occasionally to their home. If invited to their home, it is a huge honor. Gift giving can be an important part of business transactions. Small gifts are exchanged as a symbol of respect. These small favors do not need to be of great value, and a maximum price of around $50 is generally accepted. When you present a gift, it should be wrapped in paper. The type and quality of paper doesn't matter, but you should always wrap it, possibly in pastel-colored paper. Appropriate gifts include chocolates and small cakes. If you receive a gift, you should wait to open the gift in private, or at least until after the meeting. You should also offer a gift in return. Never bring flowers that are generally used at funerals, like lilies. When offering a gift, it should be of equal value. These gifts are important to the business world in that they demonstrate respect and trust. When being seated for dinner, make sure you sit where you are told, as formal seating protocols are important. Keep in mind that, like in meetings, the eldest or most honored guest will be seated at the center of the table, furthest away from the door. According to the website Culturegrams, the most popular sport in Japan is baseball. Soft tennis, table tennis, soccer, surfing, skiing, and basketball are also popular. They appear to be many of the same sports that are enjoyed in the U.S. as well. More traditional Japanese sports of sumo wrestling, judo, kendo, and karate are also popular. An interesting recreation piece that I found was that traveling is also huge in Japan. Japanese people enjoy their leisure time and do everything from nature outings to visiting the beach, hiking, and picnics. They also have a Tokyo Disneyland. Several of the most popular things to do in entertainment in Japan include karaoke, watching manga and anime, going to an amusement park, going to the movies, and playing pachinko. This includes the very popular arcades. Some arcades are so large they are 5 stories tall. After talking with a friend, one of the wildest entertainment things I heard was an onsen. An onsen is a Japanese hot spring. They're so popular in Japan that there's one onsen that has a pool that is filled with green tea and another pool that is filled with red wine. The currency in Japan is the Japanese yen. Exchange rates change by the day. Currently, 100 Japanese yen is about 89 cents in US dollars. Therefore, give or take, a good guess on the exchange rate is 100 yen is about 1 US dollar. So if you want to guess on an exchange rate from US dollars to yen, you can take the amount and move the decimal 2 spaces to the right. 100 US dollars is approximately 10,000 yen. If you want to guess the exchange rate from yen to US dollars, you move the decimal 2 spaces to the left. Yen comes in both paper bills and coins. Bills are in denominations of 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, and 10,000 yen, with 2,000 being the most rare, kind of like our $2 bill. Coins come in 1, 5, 10, 50, 100, and 500 yen denominations. Cash is the preferred method of payment in Japan. However, they do also use credit and debit cards and IC cards. An IC card is much like an Orca card with a preloaded currency to use for such things as transportation and vending machines. The currency in Japan is the Japanese yen. Exchange rate changes by the day. Currently, 100 Japanese yen is about 89 cents in US dollars. Therefore, give or take, a good guess on the exchange rate is 100 yen is about 1 US dollar. So if you want to guess exchange rate from US dollar to yen, you can take the amount and move the decimal 2 spaces to the right. 100 US dollars equals 10,000 yen. If you want to guess the exchange rate from yen to US dollars, you move the decimal 2 spaces to the left. Thank you for joining us. This has been Group 3's presentation on Japan. We hope you've learned something.
Such as business card etiquette, currency, and bowing.